Welcome, everybody. Today is Monday, January 13th, 2014. And that was Arch Enemy leading us in from Anthems of Rebellion with the title Anthems of Rebellion. And tonight we're talking about TED Talks, an Austin-based community where we can see speeches from all different walks of life on all kinds of topics. It is a great channel, and I urge everyone to check into it and at least find one topic you're interested in and listen to some speeches. My hat's off to Sir Ken Robinson. He's a wonderful speaker. He touched on some great points as far as education system, our children are concerned, and where we're lacking in encouragement and where we need to encourage them. He talks about creativity, innovation, where it's going to lead us in the future and where it may not, and the lack thereof. Very important points. He was funny. It was great. Chiminada Adichie, another great speaker, really brought home some good points on her the dangers of the one story. One story being a story about a race of people, an ethnic race of people, and missing out the finer details and just having the same story passed down and passed down and passed down, and having everybody believe possibly lies. Definitely disinformation, and her eyes were opened up to it, and she was even ashamed of herself at her thoughts of certain ethnicities, which made her do more research, opened her eyes to things, and prompted her to give such a wonderful speech. It was great. So, moving forward, we go to the 3 videos that I chose from TED Talks. I read a lot of the news. I keep up with things. That is my passion. So, of course, when I saw in the menu bar global issues, that was the first thing I clicked on. And the first video I watched happened to be on global inequality and its effects on things, the income inequality. It's evident throughout the world, the US, the UK. We look at what's going on with Greece and Italy and European countries. They're protesting in the streets. They're throwing their elected officials out to try and change things. The banks have stolen their money to prop up their own needs, which to me is amazing. That's why I don't keep my money in the bank anymore. Hint, hint. Talks about technology and globalization. That's a huge thing. Talks about how technology helps us in a lot of ways. It's pulled up the middle class, or the poor class up into the middle class with technology, but it also opens a window for certain individuals to use technology to become rich really quick, but yet they don't give back to society. They don't create jobs. They outsource things, production and whatnot, to save money, to make money, to avoid taxation. And these are all things that are hurting our society, which is where she makes her points. Talks about the poorly paid employees. Goes on and on and on. She's very concise. Didn't really use very many props, and there wasn't much humor in it. She was pretty serious about what she was saying. And the next speaker was even more. She ends on a note where she says, "We need a new deal." She's referencing Franklin Delano Roosevelt back in 1929 when we had the Great Depression. Roosevelt came up with a new deal trying to prop up our economy and try and help the people who were suffering. Unfortunately, it took a Second World War to do that, and for our industrial complex to build up the economy and provide all these jobs. And most of the things we sold were to England, on credit, no doubt. The next speaker, Richard Wilkinson, again, it ended up being on income inequality and how it hurts society, and it does in many ways. He brought up points of health, education, jailing, crime, even mental illness. He brought up a lot of good points. All societal problems, all linked to social inequality, income inequality. Like somewhere in between the beginning and the end, I became bored. He had a lot of diagrams, a lot of charts, but they were, even though they were up on their large screen, they were small. It was hard to read. It was hard to make things out. And if you didn't If you didn't keep up or pause the video, you were going to get lost as far as that went. But his main point, again, was promoting from within as far as companies go, taking ownership of the company, investing in the company, having the employees treated better, making it, again, we talk about taxation when it comes to the rich and how they're exempt from so many taxes. He says to stop that, avoid that, make taxation progressive, meaning the more money they make, the more they're going to get taxed instead of taxing them less. And then when they cry poor mouth, bailing them out and giving them billions of dollars while they're still making a profit or not doing anything, and we continue to give them money to prop them up. And it's only hurting the middle class and basically weeding us out and creating more poor people and separating the rich from the poor again. His end statement again was to improve the quality of life by ending income inequality. My next speaker was a wonderful lady. Her name is Amy Cuddy. I'm going to say Cuddy, not like the bug Cootie either. It was on your body language, how it shapes who you are, how it makes you feel about yourself, how it makes you feel, well, not you feel, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. How others portray you with your body language would be the more correct way to say that. Power and dominance, as opposed to cowering and inconfident, I guess we could say. She asks questions. She connects with her audience right away by asking them the way they're sitting. Are you slouched down? Are you coddled? Are you sitting in a position that shows you're confident, you're powerful, you mean what you say, you're here for a purpose? She asked if our nonverbal govern how other people think about us, how we feel about us, which I already stated. She shows some funny pictures of her empirical study with students where she has them sit a certain way for a couple minutes and another way for a couple minutes, and then runs through the study of a job interview. Has people look at it, and she proves her point when it comes to job interviews. The people who showed more confidence where they were the ones that were chosen right away. She shares her own life experience, which was really moving. She actually got emotional. But again, it brought out the fact that she really meant what she was saying. She was stood behind it 100%. She's proved it in empirical studies that the way you hold yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself has everything to do with the end outcome. I posted the link on the discussion board because I'm hoping that everyone will watch this video. I believe that it was that powerful and moving, and I also posted to my Facebook page and a few other pages that I'm on as well, hoping to help other people and hoping that they'll spread that video. So it was a wonderful video. Thanks. Have a good night, everybody.